How we feeling a couple days removed? How we feeling about this Bears team? Bear down, right? Bear down. We got a favorable schedule coming up, to be honest. Like, if the Bears are going to pull it around, if they needed a little hard start to have a rude awakening and say, okay, this isn't just going to be a cakewalk because we assembled the Avengers, we assembled an all-star cast. Man, there's been some things that have been unfortunate too. Both Terrell Smith and Jalen Johnson going down. That was huge. That was a bigger hit than people are realizing because those were both our starters. In my opinion, I said that all offseason. Most people would say Tyreek Stevenson was. Now they're starting to realize the disadvantage of Tyreek Stevenson in Dennis Allen's defense in man coverage. It is weak. Weak sauce. It's very weak. Terrell Smith is missed. Both of them will be back next year, but that's next year. So, what are the Bears going to do? Well, we know we signed Trey Flowers to the practice squad. We know we hopefully get Kyler Gordon back soon. Still waiting to hear on that one. Josh Blackwell is a great option. Does he kick into nickel? Does he move out to the outside? Do we move, someone like Elijah Hicks in? What are we going to do? I don't have any freaking clue. So we'll find out here really soon. Bears have options. Jalen Jones was claimed for a reason. So I'm not going to focus too much on the defense today with stat tracking. So those who saw earlier, I combined my predictions video with my power rankings video. That's NFL centric. I did the two videos in one so that I can do something like this throughout the season. I want to do stat tracking, see how guys are comparing. And really, when you get down to it, my rant about Caleb Williams isn't that I don't like Caleb Williams. It's that I want that generational quarterback to be here showing that he's a top 10 quarterback, showing that he's a top 5 quarterback, that he's leading us to the playoffs. I realize he wasn't the entire issue, but he's also not looking super generational at this point. He's not looking like he's a can't miss candidate at quarterback. Now, can he get there? Absolutely. And that's what we're all pulling for. So don't misconstrue it. I'm not dumping him. I'm not out on him. I'm not saying he's a bust. I'm saying it's got to improve. And I think everyone should have that expectation right now. I really do. I think they should all expect Caleb to make massive improvements, or there's reason to be severely concerned. Because if he doesn't, we're hitting the same cycle, and none of us want that. So just because I'm being a realist, because I'm being down to earth about this, does not mean I'm a hater. It means we got to see it, and we need to see it soon, and it needs to happen. So we're going to go through the offense today. I'm going to do this each week as the defense gets more games under their belt. Probably around the bye week, I'll start incorporating that in. It's not because I'm trying to say, oh, we're not going to look at it because the defense sucked so bad last week. They only had 5 pressures, no sacks. They're terrible. No interceptions, no turnovers. No, I'm not. I'm just saying the defense needs a little bit more time. We can kind of track the offense a little easier right now, but I do hope things turn around. I want Austin Booker back bad. I wish we signed Zadarius Smith. His 4 pressures on last Sunday alone were almost what the Bears tallied as a team combined with 5, and he had more sacks than the Bears had. So that's frustrating, and it's frustrating we're still not going out and get someone, but the options are really limited. So what do we do? I really hope Dennis Allen has something up his sleeve because I'm frustrated with the defense. But let's go to the offense. Let's start tracking. And, of course, we're going to start with the big boys right there. Joe Thuney and what he's done. And I think there's some revealing things. And I think there's some hope. I think there's some things we can glean from this. So let's jump right into the pass block efficiency for the Bears. And I'm going to move me up here. I'm not even going to show those top teams. Screw them. They're better than us. Yeah, Denver, Arizona, Jacksonville, the Chargers, San Francisco, Kansas City, Detroit, New England, Philadelphia, Green Bay. They're all in the top 10 for pass block efficiency so far this year. And I thought we were headed there this year. And you know what? I'm going to show you some things where I do think we are, but there needs to be a major change happen right now. And the Bears need to make it happen right now. There's no need to wait. I've been all in on support of Braxton Jones, 100% in support of him. When he went out, he was one of the top left tackles in the league. Now, whatever happened with the injury, if he's not fully healed yet, maybe the Bears know that, and they're trying to be patient with him. He can get back up to form. Whatever it is, he does not look good enough through 2 games. Down here, I'm going to bring the bear down pointer in. You can see the Bears have 28 pressures caused by the offensive line. Okay? 28 pressures. 13 of those come from Braxton Jones. 2 of the 4 sacks from the offensive line come from Braxton Jones. Now you can see the Bears over here. Let's just look at the entire situation. 85 passes, 4 sacks total on the year, 3 hits, 21 hurries, 28 total pressures, 81.2 pass blocking efficiency. In 2022, it was to 82.5, 23, 81.1, 2024. It ticked up. We were heading in the right direction. 84.1 as the season ended. Now in 2025, it's early. It's too early to glean this stuff, but we're going to start doing it now. 81.2. So we're 25th in the league right now at 81.2. And that's not good for where we are in the season right now. And see, Braxton is the majority of the problem there. Now, I'm not trying to garner hate towards him. I don't know the entire situation. Is he coming back from injury? Is he not fully healed? Is this back to complete form and he's just slow and he's just not good enough? I know a lot of you already feel that way, but we drafted Ozzy. We drafted Karan last year. Healthy scratches. You've also got Theo Benedict. So Theo Benedict came in at the end of the game last week for some reps, and he did decent. Someone else needs to get a start. Someone else needs to get a shot, and I think Braxton needs to sit a game and just see. I'm going to give a couple of recommendations. I really do think the Bears need to make that change before it's too late. Now, I don't care about inconsistency. You've got to figure it out. So the rest of the team, 15 pressures amongst the other guys. That would put us up, say the other four guys. That's 18, 19 pressures total if Braxton Jones, if left tackle was playing at the same rate as Jonah Jackson, Drew Dahlman, Joe Thuney, and Darnell Wright, if he was at the same pace of them, would be right around 18, 19 pressures. You look at this, and that puts us right here in this range of, 10 to 15. 10 to 15th in the league. So I can handle that. And I think it would be good for Caleb too. And I'll show his pressures this year so far. 9 hurries coming from Braxton Jones, 13 total pressures. I do think that change needs to happen now. I've been in support of Braxton. I think you have to try it out. Now, if Theo Benedict, if Karan Amagaji, if Ozzy Trapillo aren't working, if they get reps in the game and they're just as bad, Braxton's got more experience, put him back in there. Maybe he needs a game or two to sit. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there, but there is a clear one of these things is not like the other as you go down this list. One of these things is not like the other. All the rest of these are decent with their pass blocking efficiency, their pressures. Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson haven't given up a sack. Darnell Wright's only given up 1 pressure overall, and that was a sack. So there's some positive to glean here from the offensive line, but it has left Caleb with some pressure on him so far this year. Not the most in the league, but it's up there. Braxton Jones alone has caused almost half of our pressure, and it's led him in a tough spot. So where does that leave Caleb? This is really small. I know I'm gonna blow him up a little bit. I'm just gonna show you he's in 20th right now for pressures turned into sacks, which is actually an improvement for Caleb. So if we're gonna give credit where it's due, the time to throw is not improving, and I think that needs to come along with Ben Johnson's offense. You have to give Caleb a little bit of grace here. It's game 2 in Ben Johnson's offense, and Ben Johnson runs a complicated offense, and there's been a lot of penalties for a reason because it's a complicated offense. And Caleb is still in his second year. He's gone through 4 offensive coordinators now, with Ben Johnson including, and that leads to some things coming along slowly. And I don't believe, and I'm not trashing Caleb, I don't believe he's the quickest processing quarterback in the league. I think Tyson Bagent processes a little quicker. The thing is, Caleb's natural talent and ability, his athletic ability, his quarterbacking ability is leagues above Tyson Bagent, Sam Darnold, Jake Browning, Jordan Love, Daniel Jones, Bo Nix. I think he's way above them in that, but he's got to get used to Ben Johnson's offense. So it's going to take a minute. It's going to take a hot minute. So we're going to highlight here the important things from what I just showed on that screen, the quarterback stuff when it relates to sacks. And we're going to show Caleb's improvement here. So let's bring me down a little bit. There's Caleb right behind me. But here we are, Caleb stat tracking. But let's go to the sacks first. So here's this year, 2025, 20th ranked as far as pressures turned into sacks. Look at last year. This is 2024. 28.2% of his pressures turned into sacks were pressures turned into sacks. So he's brought that number down. That's a good thing. 6 sacks this year. He's on pace for 51 right now. So he's bringing it down. Defensive total pressures is what this is, 30 so far. If you take that over 17 games, if you math it out for 17, that's 252. So he's set right now for more pressures this year than he got last year, but he's on a click to do roughly 25% less sacks with those pressures. So that's actually really good. Time to throw is up. His scrambles are up too, which is interesting. So he's scrambling out of the pocket. He's throwing it away more, but he's also scrambling for yards, and he's being really effective in those yards. One of the best rushing quarterbacks in the league so far this year. So there's good to garner from this. The negative is his adjusted completion percentage just isn't there yet. His completion percentage, his accuracy is not there. So his completion percentage, top 10 quarterbacks in the league will be around 70%. He's at 61.5. That's not good. His adjusted completion percentage, a top 10 adjusted completion percentage, is taking away the variables that aren't his fault. A drop by a receiver, something that goes, a throwaway out of bounds doesn't count against his adjusted completion percentage, just against his completion percentage. So that should be around 77 to 80% to be top 10 quarterbacks in the league. Top one is usually around 85% adjusted completion percentage. And that's usually someone like Jalen Hurts, who's really more simplified, but a really solid team around him. So Caleb's got some work to do. Right now, as you guys already know, no Bears quarterback has thrown for over 4,000 yards or 30-plus touchdowns. So that's the benchmark, the top of this bar graph of where we're tracking with Caleb's stats. Current Bears single-season record is 38-38. Caleb has 419 through 2 games. He's on pace for 35-62. So we need some bigger games. We need some offense to come along. We need something to improve if he's going to hit those 2 benchmarks. 3 touchdowns through 2 games, on pace for 26. Bears single season record is 29. No Bears hit over 30. So we need some improvement there. A couple touchdowns a game would do it the rest of the way out. So 2 touchdowns a game, I mean, that's not asking much, but I really think he can do that. So some good things to garner here. This isn't just meant to be a smash on Caleb and smack on him and make it negative. We need to see major improvement in year 2 out of a generational quarterback. That needs to happen. So it's not that I'm being unfair. It's not that I'm being too critical. It's that we need to be realistic about the situation here. But there are some good things to garner. He's bringing his sacks down. He is escaping pressure, scrambling more. So he's getting more scrambles, and he's throwing the ball away more. He's taking more time, but time to throw, as I've explained on here, isn't the worst thing in the world. Some of your best quarterbacks in the league have a lot of time to throw. It's whether they process it. Don't take those pressures. Don't take the sacks out of the pressures, and find big play opportunities when they can escape the sacks. Now, Caleb's had a couple self-sacks already this year of those 6. Stepping out of bounds 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage instead of throwing it away. Jumping right into the pressure instead of going away from that. He's improving, but there's still work to do. So there's our quarterback. I do think there's positives, but he needs to make some major leaps before the bye week. And then after the bye week, we need to see him come out humming. We really do. All right, let's go to our wide receivers. This is what I'm really excited about. Sorry, I moved the wrong thing there. I'm going to put this over Luther Burden and Colston Loveland because they've done nothing so far. I'll shrink me down. But here's your receivers on pace for. Right now, Rome Odunze, 165 yards on the season. This is in order of who has the most receiving yards. So Rome Odunze has 165, DJ Moore has 116, Cole Kmet has 60, Olamide Zaccheaus has 54, Colston Loveland 12, Luther Burden 2. And yes, I will 100% agree, guys. Taking these guys 10th overall and 39th overall, it is an absolute tragedy. It's a shame that the Bears have not used them more. Ben Johnson has alluded they're going to do that. Doesn't mean we have to trade DJ Moore. Doesn't mean we have to trade Cole Kmet. Would one of those things help? It would probably give some of these guys more reps. It would probably free up the backfield a little bit more, free up the sidelines a little more, free up more playing time for some of these guys. But guys, remember, injuries happen, and DJ Moore's on pace for 1,000 yards. So right now he's got 116. He's on pace for 986. He's right there at 1,000 yards. Rome Odunze, 165. He's a top 10 wide receiver in the league by almost every metric. Some fans are hard on him because he's had a drop or 2. He's had 2 drops on the season. Give me a break. Those things happen. He's had low drop rate his entire college and NFL career. A couple things just didn't go his way with a couple of those. It'll level out over the season. He's on pace for 1,403 yards and to be a top 10 wide receiver. Contested catch rate is among the best in the league. His route running, his ability to get open is among the best in the league. He's a high point catcher. He will succeed, and I'm loving to see it come to fruition when this is something I said 2 years ago in the draft, and I was very hyped on him, very excited for him. So right now, he's on pace for 1,403. DJ's on pace for 986. Cole Kmet's on pace for 510. Zaccheaus is on pace for 459. Loveland on pace for 102. And Luther Burden on pace for 17. Which hopefully these things change. I'd love to see an offense where, I know you guys would too. This is kind of turned into a Free Talk Tuesday episode, but It would be fun to see this offense turn into a 250, 300-yard passing game, uh, a game type of team. 300 plus yards a game would be phenomenal. I mean, that's 5,000 yards if you do that every week. So if the Bears could do that, we'd have a Ben Johnson type of offense. That's kind of what we hoped for when we knew this was coming along. So it's still something we can hope for. Hopefully the offense just gets clicking, but really this episode is more just to track what's going on. All right, and last but not least, running back or rushing stats, I should say, because Caleb Williams is second rushing on the team so far. Now, a lot of people are hard on DeAndre Swift. The second game was a lot better for him, and I think if they use him properly, quit using in gap so much. We love to pound him in gap. I guess we need a bigger running back to come in. But I know a lot of stats are being thrown around on Twitter. He has some of the most yards before contact, but the lowest yards after contact. Well, why aren't we using Kyle Monangai more then? I mean, he's got so few touches, so 7 touches so far this year, 4-yard average. But in college, he was a bowling ball. Like he broke tackles left and right. So why don't we mix it up a little bit? I don't think we should take DeAndre Swift out of the game. But if we mix it up between these two, you're going to see a little different result. And he needs more touches. If we brought him in for that reason that he breaks tackles, let him go break some tackles. Let's bring up that yards after contact and let him have an opportunity. If we kept him, if we drafted him in the 7th and we touted him that he was going to be one of the best running backs to rotate in with DeAndre Swift, give him a shot to do it. So far, Caleb, though, has been a highlight here. 4th best as far as yards and about the same on yards per attempt with a rushing touchdown and one that was almost a second one too. But 11 attempts, 8 of those were scrambles, as we saw from the other page. Go back here real quick. So there's scrambles. So those are 8 scrambles to avoid pressure. So 8 of those rushes were from scrambles, and 3 were from designed runs. So he has 11 carries on the year for 85 yards, a 7.7 yards per attempt average. So he's managing that well. He's balancing trying to get his flow and his accuracy going with scrambling at the right time. Now, the designed runs haven't been nearly as successful, which shows that he has a decent feel for when he can run. He just doesn't have a decent feel yet for looking at his 2nd, 3rd, 4th reads in Ben Johnson's offense. Do I think that will come? Man, I sure hope so. I really hope so. And I have hope for it. This is the year. This is the year it has to come around. We only have a 12% chance of making the playoffs after going 0-2. This upcoming schedule is actually really favorable for the Bears. There's so many of these games that we could possibly win, so I just had to pull it up. We got the Cowboys, we got the Raiders, we got the Commanders, the Saints, the Bengals after the Ravens. The Ravens, I don't see us winning that game. And then the Giants. So of the next 1, 2, I mean, the Cowboys is winnable. The Raiders is winnable. Commanders, especially with Jaden Daniels being injured and how they're looking right now, winnable. Saints, definitely winnable. Ravens, probably not. Bengals, is Joe Burrow out for 3 months? Yep. Is Jake Browning going to play like Joe Burrow? I don't know, but that's a good opportunity for our defense to have a good game right there to get back on track because the offensive line there isn't any better than ours. So Bengals is winnable. Giants is winnable. Of the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, 6 of those are really winnable. And everybody will be feeling good if this team is 6-3. So good opportunity here. I think it's a good opportunity for the team to get on track. And I have hope. I have optimism. We might only win 6 games the whole season, but if we can go 6-3, that's going to build some confidence. We might start winning some games we otherwise thought we might not. And then we can get the offense clicking. We can get back to Ben Johnson's, schemes and get Caleb confidence under it and maybe get flowing. So there's my, I guess, Free Talk Tuesday we'll call it, but it's more of my stat tracking through 2 games. We're going to start doing that more through the season. Instead of more NFL-centered things, we're going to do a couple Bears-centered things to track. I hope you guys like this. Let me know in the comments if you do like this type of stuff. I'm going to do this each and every single week. So that's going to come along. My recommendations I'll do as well. Braxton Jones needs to be benched. The next couple weeks needs to be benched. Probably for Theo Benedict. If not, Ozzie. If not, Karan. I mean, that's up to the coaches. Put somebody else in there because he's accounted for half of our pressures. And I've defended him, but it's time. And I can be realistic and say when I was probably wrong on something, I was wrong on that. I had hope, and I thought he could do it, and I hope we can get a good comp pick for him leaving, but maybe we need to trade him midseason for a 5th-round pick, and maybe that's just the best route we need to go and get something out of it and unload his salary cap for the year. Kyle Monangai needs more touches, and DeAndre Swift needs to go outside gap more. He needs to stop being pushed in gap because he can't break a tackle. So if we're putting him in gap, I've explained this a couple times before. Those who are new to the channel, I'm just going to explain it real quick here. In gap is just running schemes that go, so you're heading towards the tackle when you're the running back. You move inside on that scheme where you're hitting the hole between tackle guard or guard center, and you're hitting the holes. That's in gap. Wide zone scheme is where you break it outside, and DeAndre Swift is just way more successful in wide zone than he is in gap. Kyle Monangai might need some of those hitting the hole type of opportunities to break the tackles. So Colston Loveland and Luther Burden need more reps. They absolutely need to be targeted, but Caleb Williams is showing right now his safety blanket is Olamide Zaccheaus, which has not been panning out. It panned out in the preseason, didn't pan out in the season so far, but Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze and him have a true connection, and he knows if Rome's down there somewhere, he's going to put it in Rome's direction. And it's going to lead to Rome being a top 10 wide receiver in the league this year, which I predicted, so thank you very much. Anyways, not the point. No time to gloat as a Bears fan right now because we got to fix some things first. But I do appreciate you guys tuning in. If you don't mind hitting the like button, subscribing, we'll be doing this every week. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Until next time, da Bears. We're going to win this week. I really feel it. I feel it in my gut. And bear down.
Bear down, sports making Chicago proud.